Welcome to Supers Live. This is the Supermodified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, and we're back after a 2-week break to end our season at the fastest third mile in the West, Madera Speedway. It's Go Fast Night, pole night for the 18th annual Summit Classic 125. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm your host, Bob Gamer. Pleased to welcome you in to sunny San Joaquin Valley in California for our season-ending Summit Classic. It is a good night to go super modified sim racing at Madera Speedway, the acknowledged West Coast home of the super modifieds. And I'll tell you what, we have got some fast super modified sim racers in the server, ready to go qualifying for you tonight. Now remember, tonight's a special night. We only lock in the top two drivers. The top two qualifiers are locked into the show. Everybody else has to race their way into a starting position for the Summit Classic 125. Now, if you're a guaranteed starter, which there are several of them here tonight ready to go, including Gary Waldron, Dave O, Bob Gangwer, all in here tonight. Rob Warren unable to make the call to the grid here this evening. Rob Warren, a former winner of the Summit Classic and a former pole sitter, unable to be here as a guaranteed starter. So we have three guaranteed starters here tonight that will be trying to make the show. If a driver that's a guaranteed starter doesn't qualify within the time trial percentage rule that Supers has, he'll have to run a heat race. Everybody who's not on the front row has to run a heat race as well. Those heat races will start straight up based on qualifying times. Former front row setters, pole setters here tonight, Gary Waldron, the very first pole setter in Supers history. Waldron from Wyoming, Michigan, sat on the pole when the Summit Classic was run at LaPorte Speedway back in 2005. And then the very next year, Gary was outside of row one. Also, Bob Gay were a former pole sitter. In fact, four of them. Tonight, we'll be watching, though, a couple of guys who were into the 11-2s. And that was Dave O and Brad Keyser. Dave O, a two-time pole sitter here at Madera Speedway. Speedy man, knows how to lay the hammer down here at the fastest third mile in the West. Dave O out of Union, Connecticut, and the TMS Wolfpack number 11. Keep your eyes on that car. And then Brad Keyser, your defending winner of the race, a two-time defending winner of the race, as a matter of fact, sat on the outside of the front row last year. Brad was awful fast in practice, another one of the drivers into the twos. Keep your eyes on the 13 of Rapid Ryan Clunan. He won the Cherry Breaker here last year, was his very first Supers feature win, and he has been very fast all season long and has been on the podium almost all of the 40 previous races this Goldcrest Wing season. Rapid Ryan Clunan will be looking to qualify into the top two, and if not, well, he should have a pretty good starting spot for the heat races here tonight. Looks like we'll have two 5-car heat races after the run for the pole is completed. We'll take a break after the time trials. We'll put your front row on the front stretch so you can see them up close and personal and talk to both of the drivers that will lead the field to green tomorrow night for the Summit Classic 125, our 18th annual. Your current track record here at Madera Speedway was set back in 2017. That was Joe Oxett. Joe Oxett out of New York, Utica, New York to be exact, an 11.183. So that's the mark all of the drivers are shooting for here tonight. The reason it's so important to try to set on the front row, the Summit Classic has been won from the pole position 10 times. In all, in 17 previous versions of this race, 11 different drivers have sat on the front row for the Summit Classic, and only 8 of those have won the pole position. It is hard to set on the pole here and have the best seat in the house to start the Summit Classic 125. We're about getting ready to see who that driver will be, who will lead him to the green flag tomorrow night for the 125. Want to remind everybody, if you've never seen a Supers broadcast before and you don't know who we are, the reason we race is to help injured super modified racers, and all proceeds donated to Supers go to help injured super modified drivers through the Dion Parish Memorial Benevolent Fund for super modifieds. You can learn more about that at supers.net. We invite you to make a donation of any amount to help injured drivers, super modified sim racing for the right reasons since 2004. Well, folks, we're looking at pushing up on 8:38 here, and we're getting ready to go for our time trial show, pole night here at the Summit Classic. Let's talk to one of the guys that's been awfully, awfully fast here in action at Madera Speedway. Last year, led the almost the entire race. Well, led the first 86 laps, lost connection, sat on the pole the last 2 years in a row. We're talking about Speedy Man Dave O out of Union, Connecticut. Dave getting ready to strap into his super modified. Dave, your qualifying order, you'll go later here. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage here at Madera Speedway?
Uh, Starting up front's definitely an advantage. Um, just clean track and all. It's a long race. Got to keep the car clean and run your own race.
Dave, what do you think you can pull off out there? You saw some 11.2s in practice. Are you going to be able to hit that when it's time to go fast here in just a couple of minutes?
Uh, I'd like to think so. It'll be interesting to see with the single car. Got a bad draw going out late, so track's gonna be pretty warm and greasy. So we'll give it our best shot, but we'll try for a low two. I don't think it's think more so a high two, low three is gonna be where I'm at, unless I really hit it right.
Well, best of luck, Dave. Know you want to bring that TMS Wolfpack down for the start of the Summit Class tomorrow night from the best seat in the house. Good luck.
Thanks.
Dave O, your defending pole sitter here at Madera Speedway. He's ready to go. Says the late draw could be an issue for him, and we'll see how that pans out. Brad Keyser, the other driver that was in the 11.2s, and Brad has been. Well, he's pretty much got a lock on the championship. If you read the stories on supers.net last week, you know that Brad feels pretty confident coming in to the Summit Classic and knows that he can cut it loose and let it rip. Brad, we saw you out there in practice, just like Dave O, setting down some fast laps in 11.2. Dave O says going late is a disadvantage. Your track's going to be a little greasier, a little slicker out there. You go early after a good draw. How do you feel about your chances to set on the pole for the Summit Classic? Your would be your first ever here at Madera.
Thanks, Bob. I feel good. I mean, I never want to feel too confident I'm going to run faster than Dave. But yeah, going 15 or 12 spots before Dave should definitely help. The track will be a little bit cooler, a little bit faster. The key is just getting the brakes and tires up to temperature as quick as you can to lay down a solid first lap so you can go after on lap two. Um, realistically, my goal is just to start on the front row to try to avoid the heats. And if I can do that, then I've set myself up to be safe and have a shot for tomorrow's race. That's the primary goal. It would be nice to start pole, but second is a lot better than starting back in I think six or wherever when I started here as a rookie.
Well, it didn't seem to affect you too much because you were the only driver in Super's history to win the Summit Classic as a rookie, except for John Davis, who won the first one when everybody was a rookie in Supers in 2005. So best of luck tonight in the BMK Logistics number 3, Brett.
Thank you, sir.
One of the drivers that is looking awfully strong here at Madera Speedway. Folks, it's time to put him on the track and get a let him rip around the fastest third mile in the West. It's Summit Classic Pole Night. If you've got a favorite, let us know in chat. We would love to give you a shout out, a super shout out here from the Supers Broadcasting Network. And drivers getting ready to go. The first driver up to qualify here will be Gary Waldron, your 2005 pole setter, and he is going to be going fast, looking to qualify well. Gary, a guaranteed starter. He's got to be within the cutoff, the time trial percentage rule. So Gary will be looking to be with probably around an 11.9 to make that cutoff. So Gary Waldron will be your first driver out. Bob Gangwer will be next in line, a pole sitter as well. And then Zach Sears, also another driver you'll want to keep an eye on out there. Gary Waldron in the Kenowa Auto Supply, Michigan Hill Gang, number 10, your 2005 Summit Classic pole sitter, ready to roll out onto the fastest third mile in the West here at Madera Speedway. And Gary telling us last night after a practice session that his key is one thing he really has to work at is the fact that he just needs to work on getting into his rhythm a little bit better. Here he comes now off of turn 4 to start his time trial run. Gary Waldron. out of Wyoming, Michigan. Your first qualifier here for the Summit Classic 125. Waldron down the backstretch now. Here he comes out of turn number 1. First lap in the books here at Madera Speedway at 12.474. He's going to have to pick it up. Most likely that's too slow to make the time trial percentage cut. Waldron comes across the line now for lap number 2, and it's faster, a 12.071. Gary Waldron, a 12.071. Next out on the track from Goshen, Indiana, driving the number 25, it's Bob Gangwer, B&G Racing Photos. Belfab Race Products, a sponsor for Gangwer out of Goshen. 3-time pole sitter. Gangwer on the clocks here in the 25. Lap number 1, a 12.080. And lap 2, a 12.05 for Gangwer. 12.05. Provisional pole with just 2 qualifiers in. We know that speed is going to drop, and that speed's going to drop from the next driver. That's Zach Sears out of Elyria, Ohio. Zach Sears, the next driver onto the track here, sponsored by the Midwest Supermodified Series. Sears in the number 22. Here he comes out of turn number 4 to start the green flag. Zach Sears. White flag flies for Sears, and it's a 12.608 on lap number 1. 12.60. Oh, and he is loose. No practice for Sears as he gets to the track late. There's lap number 2, and it's just a tick faster. Puts him on the provisional pole with a 12.044. 12.044 for Sears. Next driver out onto the racetrack is one you better keep your eyes on. He hails from Liverpool, New York, sponsored by BMK Logistics. And chasing cameras, Brad Keyser. Keyser, 2-time defending Summit Classic champion, Brad Keyser on the track now. Keyser says that he has to get some brake temp and has to get some tire temp to try to have a good run. He starts his here for the Summit Classic pole. And Keyser, pretty much a lock on the season championship, looking to finish it out well. Lap number 1 of the books at 11.473. 11.473 for Keyser. That's right about where he was last year when he set on the outside road. Does he have any more? Here he comes, cross the stripe, checkered flag, and it's an 11.363. 11.363 for Keyser on lap number 2. Provisional pole sitter here for the Summit Classic 125. So Keyser doing a good job out there. Is it going to be enough to hold off the other hot dogs? We'll see. Coming up next on the racetrack, one that knows how to go fast as long as he has enough fuel. He's from Stoneham, Massachusetts. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nelson Hot Rodriguez. Rodriguez in the Star Speedway machine starts his time trial run here at Madera Speedway. Rodriguez, former SUPRS Rookie of the Year, and he's across the stripe. Lap number 1 in the books. It's a 12.205. 12.205 for Rodriguez. Down through 3 and 4 he goes. Back into the hammer. And Rodriguez across the stripe with a 12. Flat, a 12.080 slots in at 4th quick right now. 14 drivers ready to qualify here tonight. Next out onto the racetrack from Chisago City, Minnesota, in the Gooby Beer. Shoe Racing, number 56. Dick Schuler, Tricky Dicky, getting some tire heat there. Hoping to have a good time trial run. Dick has struggled a little bit in practice here at Madera. See if he's getting a little better. Hits the rumble strips down through turn number 1. Oh, sideways across the stripe with a 12.635. See if he can pick it up in lap number 2. Here he comes. Lap number 2 in the books for Tricky Dicky. It's a 4.05. A 1-2 with a 4.05 after it. Right now, Schuler's 5th quick. Coming out next onto the racetrack, keep an eye on this guy. His first full season of Wing Supermodified racing. It's Greg Breen out of Liverpool, New York, sponsored by Lindsay Aggregates. And he's been fast as well. Beautiful looking machine. Black, yellow, and red. Greg Breen on his first lap. Here he comes down to complete lap number 1. And right to P2, an 11.896. 11.896 for Breen. A good lap for the driver that will be making his first Summit Classic start. Little bit of bobble off of 4, and it's an 8.74. He still picks up the pace at 11.874. Nice job by Breen out of Liverpool, New York. Good run for that driver of the Lindsay Aggregates. Number 26, autism on the back of that car. One of his family members. Hey, coming up next, we've got a teacher. That's right. We call him the Teach. He hails from Cicero, New York. Sponsored by creative assistant Stephen Vincent. Vincent takes the green flag to start his time trial run for the Summit Classic pole. No practice for this driver, and he's sideways. He keeps it off the fence. He'll still be able to complete lap number 1. He keeps it rolling here. We'll see. He ought to have some good tire heat now. So he tries for lap number 2. Lap number 1 is a 14.628. 14.628. Let's see if he's got anything. Oh, and he's sideways again in the brakes on the rumble strips. Hang on, Steven. Lap number 2. And it is not faster. And we assumed that it would not be after that sped. Lap 2 is 16.867. So Vincent will be disappointed. The heats straight up start for the heats. It looks like Vincent hits the wall going in. And it'll be odd even heats for the drivers. Coming out next onto the track, hey, watch this beautiful blue machine of Anthony Corsiniti. And P2, 11.824. 11.824 for Corsiniti. Lap number 2, not faster, but still provisionally second quick right now, an 8.87 on lap number 2. So an 8.24. Nice job by Corsiniti. Now, here comes out everybody's favorite. We know James East likes this guy. Speaking of James East, he'll be with us tomorrow night for the broadcast of the Summit Classic. James from TeamGoonSquad.com. He loves this driver from Brook Park, Ohio. Taking the green flag right now, it's Bobby Hayduck. Hayduck, sponsored by Bronx Country and Gannon Auto Sales out of Brook Park, Ohio. Looking to make his second Summit Classic start. Here he comes out of turn number 4. Right flag flies. Lap number 1 in the books. It is a 12.394. 12.394 for Hayduck. Lap number 2, and it's faster. A 12.295. 12.295 for Hayduck. So a nice run for the driver of the Gannon Auto Sales sponsored machine. You know, Bobby's one of those guys that just never really messed with computers. Older gentleman, not in his 60s yet, but in his 50s. Never did any sim racing, but has really picked it up and is having a good time out there. Just like this youngster from Oswego, New York. In the simability.com, number 13, Rapid Ryan Clunan begins his time trial run here at Madera Speedway. Watch this driver fly. There's a reason we call him Rapid Ryan. He's through turn number 4. In the hammer sideways, he goes around. He saves it. Beautiful save for the driver. That's going to hurt him, though. It's a 12.636. 12.636. Just goes to show you anything can happen here at Madera Speedway in time trials. He winds it back up, tries it again, and there, that's just a little bit better, but not much. He's going to a heat race almost certainly with a 12.594 or 12.594. In fact, right now he is in a heat race, so tough luck for Clunan. Boy, he is going to be disappointed with that. One of the fastest drivers out there. Well, the guy coming up next is the one that's shooting for the pole. We talked to him earlier. He's not sure if he can hit an 11.2. He's going to have to go better than 11.363. Two-time SUPRS champion, defending Super champion, former winner of the Summit Classic from Union, Connecticut, in the TMS Wolfpack. Number 11, setting up high, coming off low. It's Dave-O. Dave-O starts his time trial run. Look at that beautiful line through turn 1 and 2 and down the back chute into 3. He's low. Here he comes off of 4. Looks solid. A good run right to the top with an 11.332. 11.332 provisional pole, and that's all he's got. He says, I got no more. He slows it down, and that's what he'll take. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that looks like it's going to be your pole. We've got 2 drivers left to go. 12.952 for those keeping track on lap number 2 for Dave-O. Well, the final driver up here tonight, driver out of Crestline, Ohio, sponsored by CPR Motorsports, and icing's on top in the Mayfield Missile. Number 41, Keith. Put one on you, Powell. Powell starts his run here at Madera. Has never been on the front row. Lap number 1 in the books for Keith. Put one on you, Powell. And he slots in at 8th quick right now with a 12.088. 12.088, lap 1, lap number 2. Finish it up for Keith, and it's better, an 11.931. 11.931 for Powell. So as they stand right now, ladies and gentlemen, your front row no different than last year. Dave-O on top with an 11.332. Brad Keyser second quick with 11.363. Anthony Corsadini will be going away from the pole position on lap number 1. We'll see if our guaranteed starters are fast enough to take their guaranteed starter spot and not have to run a heat race. And we'll be checking on that with timing and scoring. While we do that, we're going to take a quick break and invite you to enjoy some of the SUPRS house bands before we come back with our heat races. Those will be exciting. Remember, the guys are going to start straight up from time trials. And the way they finish the heat race is the way they'll start tomorrow night's 18th Annual Summit Classic 125. Your pole sitter, Dave-O and Brad Keyser. We'll have an interview with them when we come back. You're enjoying live super modified sim racing of the finest here on the SUPRS Broadcasting Network.
It's hard to argue with the facts. High above the city, far above the trees, give me just a glance and you will see. you do? Hey, when they throw down on you. Hey, don't you give up. Hey, when there's too much to love. Love, I was thinking everybody needs somebody to love. Love,
Welcome back to Supers Live. We are excited to talk about the guys that are starting on the front row for tomorrow night's 18th Annual Summit Classic 125. These guys both know how to lay down some good laps. And let's talk to the guy that's going to go away from the outside of the front row for the second year in a row. Your defending Summit Classic champion, a two-time winner of this race, Brad Keyser, and the coach doing a great job out there. Brad, just not quite enough to take your first pole position here at Madera. What was lacking in the number 3 BMK Logistics machine that just kept you from being on the best seat of the house?
Thanks, Bob. Really, I wouldn't say anything was lacking because I ran a really good time. Dave just ran a little bit better. If you go much faster, you're really, really flirting with putting it in the infield coming off of 2 or 4. So once I laid down the first lap, I could go after a little bit, but I'm not disappointed with that time by any means. I'll take a 3.6 here any day of the week. Get to start on the outside row tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about the heats tonight, and really just try to settle in for a long race tomorrow. That's really the key thing is just starting at a good spot so I can get out clean and go. So not disappointed. Obviously, I've won before not being starting pole, so maybe that's a good thing for me.
Talk a little bit about those chances, Dave, leading 86 laps last year, losing connection, and then you were able to win your second one. The first one went right down to the wire between yourself, Dave, and Rob Warren. You've been in some close battles. Has your strategy changed any for this year's edition of the Summit Classic 125?
Uh, no, I wouldn't say strategy's really changed. I mean, really, ever since Dave's come into the league, he's really pushed the strategy a little differently. So you've got to really go earlier. You risk going down a lap. I know I experienced that at Star earlier this year when Dave won. So I've got to make sure that I can't let there be any separation from him because I'm not rooting for a disconnect for him. So the goal is to get in line quickly, get the tires warmed up, not burn them off, keep the brakes in line, and just really run it till we're down in the last 25 laps and see who's got a better car with about 25 to go.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Don't have to run the silly show tonight with the heat races. You're locked in, and you're going to go away from the outside of the front row with the qualifying time at 11:363. Brad Keyser, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well, let's talk to the guy that is going to go away from the pole for the third straight year. Speedy man living up to his name here tonight at Madera Speedway. And Dave, congratulations. First of all, a fantastic run for you out there, an 11:332, just a tick quicker than Brad, and it was enough. This year, you get to have the best seat in the house for the start of that 125 lap classic tomorrow night here at Madera Speedway. What has changed in your methodology of trying to win this race from last year after getting disconnected and also getting disconnected at some of the other Triple Crown races? We know that you're really shooting for a perfect Triple Crown this year. What have you changed in your system, if anything?
I mean, we've had some issues here with the network before and some connectors, and compared to the last times I got dropped, everything from the whole network's been brand new and upgraded. So it's been a while, so we're hoping that doesn't happen. But like Brad kind of alluded to, I did have that issue, and like you said, so I mean, my plan's this: get out early, do as many laps as possible, and finish the race as quick as possible. Because I know last year we dropped to 86, but I think we ran 188 laps, including all the yellows. So maybe a few less yellows that race is in by the time I'm dropped. But really, just go as fast as possible to get it done as quick as possible to minimize the gap for errors. But yeah, nice to start on the front, be able to control my own pace and kind of have some clean track to hopefully get some separation from Brad. I know he's going to be running hard after Star and going down a lap early there. He didn't get quite a good draw there, but he's going to be hounding me all race. So just lucky to be able to squeak out that lap. It was tough going late with the late draw. I think it was, I don't know, maybe 10 or so degrees hotter track temp than when he had rolled out on the track. So really wasn't that good of a lap. Kind of were about where I said I would be, a low 3. Was hoping for better, but got a little squirrely off 4 and just got it to the line, saw it was good enough, and that was it. The lap wasn't going to be good enough to beat that again, so I just settled down and drove her on into pits.
How surprised are you, Dave, that you dropped the fast time pull speed another 10th here this year from last year?
Pretty surprised. I wasn't really too sure on what we were gonna do, but just found a few changes that helped us out and got the time down a bit. And maybe we get a good draw next time around. We might be able to improve that by a tenth or so, based on when the draws happen. We'll see. But there's definitely more left in it from what I've tested and hit.
Well, you shouldn't have to tear things up tomorrow night. You got a great starting spot on the pole. Congratulations, Dave. I know there's some people you want to thank for helping you get to the front row of the Summit Classic.
Yep. I thank heatfinder.net and the modsquad.info. And of course, Brad, for just being a good teammate and helping us bounce ideas off each other for this setup, because really wasn't much we did, just a few things back and forth, and it picked up a bit.
Congratulations, Dave. Third straight Summit Classic pole.
Thank you.
Dave O out of Union, Connecticut will lead him to the green tomorrow night for the 18th Annual Summit Classic with Brad Keyser right alongside. Those two are both looking to keep a lock on the top four or the last 4 years of winning this race. It is a tough one to win. It's a tough deal here to set on the pole. As we said, only 8 different drivers have done that. Dave's one of those, and now he has 3 pole positions, moves to 4th on the all-time list. Or excuse me, 3 pole positions, moves into a tie for the most poles in 2nd overall. The guy that's got the most race, Bob Gamble with 4, but he's tied with Ray Sand Jr. Now, we'll get it right. Ray Sand Jr. has 3, Dave has 3, and Brad Keyser now has 2 front row starts. That's your front row interviews. We are getting ready to go with our heat races here for the Summit Classic 125. The drivers are getting strapped in for the first heat race. This is how we're going to line them up. Starting on the pole for heat race number 1. Anthony Corsiniti on the pole out of North Syracuse. Anthony Corsiniti out of North Syracuse, New York, in the teesforecast.com, an amateur weather forecaster. Anthony Corsiniti will lead your first heat race to the green flag. Outside of road number 1, youngster from Elyria, Ohio, sponsored by the Midwest Supermodified Series. It's Zach Sears. Sears in the number 22. You can check out the super schedule and see the real super modified schedule for the Midwest Super Modified Series, Zach Sears sponsor, on our schedule page. Starting inside road number 2, originally scheduled to go away from inside road number 2 is the number 7 of Nelson Rodriguez. He is elected to go to the tail. So moving up into the inside of row number 2, driver from Brook Park, Ohio. He's sponsored by Gannon Auto Sales. It's Bobby Hayduck. Hayduck in the number 14. Next door to him, boy, a tough qualifying run for this fast driver out of Oswego, New York, sponsored by simability.com. It's Rapid Ryan Clunan. Clunan in that SimAbility machine, driving with hand controls. And now we move to our third row for the starting lineup of our 10-lap heat race. And Gary Waldron, a former pole sitter here, getting a DQ in time trials as he exited the pits and crashed. So he goes from the back here tonight in his first heat race. And it's going to be a tough road to hoe for the driver out of Wyoming, New York. Now, Nelson Rodriguez, as we said, slated to go from inside row number 2. He's going to go to the rear because he's unable to race the Summit Classic due to prior commitments. He wanted to come in tonight and go ahead and get a good run, see what he could do just in case he was able to race tomorrow night. Looks like he's not going to be able to make it. He doesn't want to screw anybody's race up that is going to race tomorrow night, so he has elected to go to the tail. The Star Speedway sponsored red number 7 of Nelson Rodriguez is going to start in 6th position. We've got a 6-car heat, a 5-car heat ready to go here. 10 laps. The way the drivers finish is the way they will start the feature tomorrow night, or the Summit Classic 125. You want to make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8:30 for that 125 lap show. Going to be a great show. We've got some guests coming in, and guest announcer James East from TeamGoonSquad.com. Excited to have James here and his excellent announcing capabilities, and certainly one of the guys that really understands auto racing, a motorcycle racer, an extreme sports guy. doing some flat track motorcycle racing announcing this year, does a lot of iRacing. James will be a great addition to the broadcast here tomorrow night. Our broadcast coming out of Hairbag Studios in Baldwinsville, New York. Kevin Timmons, our producer. So her first heat race directors and officials getting things set, making sure things are right for these drivers is a lot on the line here. You know, the best you can start would be third. Now, none of the guaranteed starters, other than Dave O, making the percentage cut. The cutoff tonight was an 11.9, and nobody of the guaranteed starters able to make the cutoff. The Supers has a percentage time trial percentage rule that they go by, and that's just to make sure that everybody's, not dogging out there, and that guys that are up in the handicap positions or the inversions are deserving of being there with a good lap time. And really, that's taken off of the whole uh, uh, format from the granddaddy of all real super modified races, the Oswego Classic in Oswego, New York. You can learn about that on supers.net. And while you're there, take a look at our Supers merch tab. Our Supers merch tab is where you can buy Supers merchandise with proceeds going to help injured drivers. Just a neat deal. Some neat designs by breezegraphics.com. We'd love to have you take part in that. So the heat race is getting set up here and ready to go. As we said, 10 laps. It's kind of surprising to see a tough lap out there for Rapid Ryan Clunan as he had problems. If you're just joining us on his time trial run, he spun out on his first lap, and that really put the screws to him. And Greg Breen, his uncle, did the same thing. So tough luck for him. So watching these heat races, caution laps don't count. The drivers only get the drivers will get one caution or basically one incident, and after that one incident, they'll be black flagged and told to take it to the pit area. So tomorrow night they'll get two, and on the third strike, you're out. So 125 laps. Guys are going to have to keep their noses clean and keep the tires on the car. Boy, during practice the last couple of nights, it's been a little hairy out there with some of the guys getting control. Sometimes Madera getting a little bit slick out there, especially as the lights go down. You can see videos of real super modified racing from Madera Speedway on our real super modified playlist on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/user/supers online. Again, your starting lineup for heat race number one, Anthony Corsiniti on the front row with Zach Sears. A couple of hard chargers there. Corsiniti, actually, Corsiniti kind of a quiet, we call him the quiet storm, but that's kind of a two-pronged nickname there, as Corsiniti just quietly works his way around the track and just tries to finish the races a lot like Keith Powell does. So Corsiniti has been a welcome addition to the Supers roster. If you'd like to become a real super modified sim racer, we'd love to have you. Go to supers.net, click the drivers tab, and become a Supers member. Well, the field finally ready to go here at Madera. 10 laps on tap for our first heat race. Lineup straight up from time trials. Field will roll away from turn one. you're not familiar with real super modified racing, we're a little bit different. We don't actually get a push start like the real super modifieds. All right, here we go. Coming off of turn number 4, the pace lap white flag is out. A little bit of a revised lineup as Dick Schuler is going to go away from outside row number 1, or row number 2. Green flags out. They're flying at Madera down into turn number 1. Breen slides high. Schuler slides high, way high as a matter of fact. There goes Steve Vincent. Bobby Hayduck goes around. Hayduck, oh, and Schuler around in turn number 1, or turn number 3. Hayduck keeps it going. And caution on the racetrack. Oh boy. Tough luck for Dick Schuler. He's out of this one. He'll finish last. Dick Schuler goes to the tail. Corsiniti Breen. Breen really slid high on that start, and Stephen Vincent able to make up some ground there as he goes by. Field going green next time by the stripe. Here they come out of turn number 4. Green flags out, and they're gone and flying here at Madera. Down into turn number 1 they go. Corsiniti gets through in fine shape. Breen right there, though. Stephen Vincent looking good in 3rd. Hayduck and then Rodriguez. There goes Breen to the outside, working on Corsiniti. Corsiniti keeps it tight. Off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Oh, cockpit with Stephen Vincent. Boy, you saw Greg Breen get right up to the rear nerf bar of Anthony Corsiniti. He's right there. Woo! Man, look at Greg Breen. He has got a fast race car in that Lindsay Aggregates machine. Slides up. It looks like he might be trying to diamond the corners off going through 1 and 2. 4 laps to go here in our 10-lap heat race, and he is all over Anthony Corsiniti. Down low on the front stretch, Greg Breen looking to the inside in turn number 1. Corsiniti slides high. Here comes Breen low off of 2. Side by side down the backstretch into turn number 3. We've got a battle for the lead on our hands. 2 to go. Breen takes over the top spot. Oh, and Breen gets sideways. He saves it, though. Corsiniti catches back up. Now he's right to the rear nerf bar. Oh, boy, now Anthony Corsiniti's struggling on the last lap. Here comes Greg Breen. Breen's going to bring it home 4 to win, followed by Anthony Corsiniti. Good run for Greg Breen. We've got Greg Breen there from Victory Lane here at Madera Speedway live. Greg Breen climbing out of the Lindsay Aggregates number 26. Great run, Greg. Fantastic move. You were able to work Anthony Corsadini there. How happy are you to be able to go away from the second row in your first Summit Classic start tomorrow night?
Yeah, pretty excited about that. A lot of fast guys, and just excited to be on the inside and up front, and hopefully stay out of some of the trouble.
Well, any tips that you've gotten from your nephew Ryan Clunan? He's never started one of these either. Both of you going to be trying to make your first start tomorrow night. But has he talked to you about anything to do here at Madera Speedway after winning the Cherry Breaker last year?
No, you would think he would, but I think being related, he gives me a harder time than all the rest of the other guys. So he keeps it pretty quiet. But no, just kidding. He helps me a lot. We have a good time together.
Well, let's talk a little bit real quick about that as we get our second heat race ready to go here. Let's talk a little bit about that time trial run that you had. It was a tough one for you out there. You had a good fast race car, but looked like she got a little bit loose on you and you went around. How disappointed are you in that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to keep it straight coming off the turns, for me anyways. And you really got to feather that gas. And if you get on it too soon, and when you're in time trials, you're trying to go, and it just gets loose on you in a hurry.
Well, we want to wish you the best of luck for tomorrow night. We know you're anxious to get this thing rolling and get a good run tomorrow in the Summit Classic 125. Who do you want to thank from Victory Lane here at Madera Speedway?
Yeah, just all the sponsors of the race, and Lindsay Aggregates, and just all the guys for helping me out. It's a good time, and I enjoy racing with you guys.
Greg Breen, congratulations, man. You got a great starting spot for tomorrow night.
Thank you.
That driver is somebody to watch. I'm telling you, he's a good guy, fast driver, and we expect great things out of him here at SUPRS competition. So watch for the 26th tomorrow night. We think we're going to have a good run. He'll have a good run. As long as he can keep the car underneath him, he's a hard charger. Well, let's get you set up for heat race number 2 here at Madera. Another 10-lapper. The way they finish is the way they will start the Summit Classic tomorrow night. On the front row, revised schedule or revised lineups, starting on the front row from Elyria, Ohio. It's the 22 of Zach Sears on the front row. Outside row number 1 in the number 25 from Goshen, Indiana, it's Bob Gangwer. Gangwer in the 25. Inside row number 2, this driver looking for a good run here at Madera Speedway tomorrow night. It's Keith Put One on You, Powell out of Crestline, Ohio, sponsored by Icings on Top and CPR Motorsports. Next to Powell in the 08, it's Danny Ray out of Goshen, Indiana, in the Smoky Bones Down Home Kitchen Machine. And then in the last row, it's Rapid Ryan Clunan, Oswego, New York, and Gary Waldron. Here they go, rolling at Madera. Sears and Gangwer on the front row. Parade lap and then the pace lap before we go green here at Madera. So get a good look at all those beautiful super modified sim racers. Sears, sponsored by Midwest Super Modified Series. As we said, you can see the schedule for that real Super Modified sanction on our schedule page. Sears, Gangwer, Powell, Ray, Clunan, Waldron. 6 cars ready to go for 10 laps here at Madera. Here they come off of turn number 4. Green flag flies. And Sears lets the car go a little bit wide on the start. Gangwer drops into second. Powell in third. Clunan looking underneath Keith Powell and gets into third position. Sears around out of turn number 2. No yellow on the track. Putting the pressure on gangway. More to go. Poonin around the outside of gangway. Down into turn 1 they go. And Clunin takes the lead. Sears trying to work his way back up. White flag's out here for Clunin. Here he comes out of turn number 4. Gets her sideways, takes the checker. Rapid Ryan Clunin, your winner. Bob Gangway second. Keith Powell, Gary Waldron, and Zach Sears. Danny Ray. Your finish in order. And Sears will bring the Midwest Supermodified Series number 22 around. Or excuse me, Clunin will bring the Simability number 13 around. We'll have a quick talk with him. A good run by that driver out of Oswego, New York, the home of the Supermodifieds, Oswego Speedway. You can see their schedule as well on our front page. Well, let's get a talk here as soon as he gets unstrapped from his virtual Supermodified. Rapid Ryan Clunin in victory lane here at Madera Speedway. Ryan, congratulations. A good run for you here, able to work your way through steadily and take over the top spot and have a good starting spot right next to your uncle tomorrow night, man. That's got to feel good for you. How good is that race car for tomorrow night?
Hopefully it's going to be really good. Not sure if I'm going to be able to touch Dave and Brad. They're always really tough to beat, and Greg seems like he's got a fairly stable car. So hopefully it's a long race and just wait it out.
What's the key, do you think, to try to stay out of lap traffic tomorrow night? You're going to be making your first start. You've never experienced it here at Madera. What have you experienced in Supers racing to know how to go towards this race here at Madera?
I think the key is going to be try to break out early, just get a little bit of a buffer to where you're comfortable, and then just kind of cruise around. And when you get up to lap traffic, we generally have a good idea on who likes to go high or stay low, and then just keep it smooth, pass on the straights, and try to stay out of trouble. And it should be a good, smooth race. I mean, it's a long race, so if you give everybody time, they'll give you the room, and usually you can make your way through pretty decently.
Ryan, want to wish you the very best of luck. Real quick, your uncle said that even though you guys are teammates, you really don't share a lot of information with you. He was kind of joking around, but he thought maybe you should share some more information with him. How do you feel about that?
He can get all the information he wants after the race.
Well, Ryan, we expect both you guys are going to have a great race tomorrow night, making your very first super start in the Summit Classic here. Congratulations on a good run here tonight in the heat race, and best of luck tomorrow night at the 18th Annual Summit Classic.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Rapid Ryan Clunin coming home with the heat race win. Greg Breen, your other heat race winner tonight. And we now have our starting lineup set for the 18th Annual Summit Classic 125. And here it is, starting on the pole tomorrow night with the fast time. It's Dave O. Dave O on the pole with a time of 11:332 outside first row for the second year in a row. With an 11:363, it's Brad Keyser. Row number 2 is going to line up like this with your 2 heat race winners, Greg Breen on the inside of row 2 and the 26, and then Ryan Clunin outside of row 1. Row number 3 it's Anthony Corsiniti and Bob Gang, where row 4 will be Stephen Vincent and Keith Powell. Row 5, the 14 of Bobby Haydock and the 10 of Gary Waldron. Row 6 is the 7 of Nelson Rodriguez. And we want to confirm that because we think Rodriguez won't be here, but very probably it will be the 22 of Zach Sears and the 56 of Dick Schuler. And then rounding out the field will be the 08 of Danny Ray. Anybody that shows up tomorrow that did not run time trials tonight will just grid up at the back of the pack based on Supers Championship points. We hope you enjoyed our pull night broadcast here from the Summit Classic 125. We sure do appreciate all of you being here with us. And we want to give a shout out to our sponsors and especially First to Finish Race Servers and Hairbag Studios bringing the broadcast to you here after a 2-week break. And we're just looking forward to doing a great job for you here at the end of the season. But Hairbag Studios out of Baldwinsville, New York, Kevin Timmons, our producer, BreezeGraphics.com, Icings on Top, specialty cakes for all occasions, and proud sponsors of the Supers Rookie of the Year Award and the Supers Triple Crown of Super Modified Sim Racing presented by Icings on Top. This is race number 2 of the 2022 Triple Crown that also included the Star Speedway Classic, the All-Star Classic, which was won by Brad Keyser. And coming in the summer here this summer in August will be the Topless 200. Those 3 races make up the Triple Crown. Grid-finder.com. Find your place on the grid. Become an approved Supermodified, an approved sim racing league like Supers. Burger Smokehouse, simple family tradition since 1927 on the web at smokehouse.com. Wags Custom and Cool Awards, making you look cool in Victory Lane. BMK Logistics, getting your Amazon products to you in speedy delivery style. Of course, Supermodified Scorecard, RG Gill Designs, and photos. Folks, don't forget, tune in tomorrow night, 8:30 for the broadcast of the 18th Annual Summit Classic 125 here from Madera Speedway, featuring guest announcer James East at TeamGoonsquad.com. Until then, when you're in California and you're wearing those flip-flops, keep it wing side up and wheels to the ground.
Well, if you're gonna do it, I say do it with someone you love. And if you're going through it, I say do it with someone you love.